Thank you for joining me today as we go through how to create content consistently so that you don't always have to recreate new content when you want to create content for your landing pages, for your advertising, for your marketing. In this AI era, I've discovered and noted that a lot of entrepreneurs, as much as they've got access to the AI tools, they keep on repeating the process of creating over and over again new content, and this content becomes unrelated or it doesn't have real context to their products and services. So it ends up being a very difficult and boring task, right? When you're spending so much time in creating content, but this content is not actually connecting and moving the needle for your client avatar. So in this training, I'm going to show you how you can quickly create content using AI. And our tool of choice today is Cloud Code, where we're going to go through a series of steps, and these steps will sparkle some creative juices for you and get you to start creating content that's specific. You only do it once, but from there, you always reference to that file and keep on creating new content for your business. So, this process, initially, when you do it, you just need to set aside about an hour or so just to make sure that everything's ready. Once you do that, that's it. You compress time and you can create landing pages, you can create emails, you can create flyers, templates, you name it. So before AI creates your content, it really needs to know who is it talking to. Otherwise, if you are trying to please everyone or to talk to everyone, it makes noise. It just becomes someone who's calling out on the streets, come and buy my stuff, come and buy my stuff, but no one is actually turning their head to come and see. So the foundation of a great campaign is having a definition of who is this campaign targeted to, what's the product, what's our offer, everything is all aligned, then it becomes very easy to sell this product or service. So instead of just jumping into AI, right, and asking it to create content for my landing page, AI is fast. Remember, it's fuel, it's a tool that's designed to operate very fast. But if we don't give it guidance and parameters of where to operate in, we're going to end up on the wrong side of the stick where we've got content that's irrelevant. It will write it very fast for us, but it won't help us. So it creates information without direction because it was already designed for speed, right? It will give you content, but it's empty. It's not polished. It's just there, but it just is too much noise and too many words, right? And then because of that, it writes to no one. It's just like I'm sure you've seen a lot of content that's on people's feeds nowadays. It's just a lot of information that's just being posted there, but it's not connecting with anyone. And AI should not just start by writing. It has to understand its context, what it needs to do first, why it's doing it. Then, with that background story, your AI of choice will go ahead and start to write information and content that's relevant. So, your client avatar, that's the starting point, right? This is your persona. This is the best person to buy your product and service. And it's very easy to know who your client avatar is because the key thing is you can look at your current clients right now. From there, you can easily establish or you've got an idea of who your client avatar is. If it's a new business, you look at a competitor, right? Who is your competitor and who are their clients who are already buying from them? Then that gives you an idea of how to model your own client avatar. If you do it the other way, where you really don't know who your client avatar is, but you just go ahead and go into the market without defining this, that becomes noise and it's a no-no. We've always been talking about this in the market, in marketing, and it becomes an expensive exercise as a business owner when you experience this and you haven't prepared. So that's why it's important for you to actually know who's your ideal client. Is it a man? Is it a woman? What do they want? And what problems are they trying to solve right now in their business, right? What are their pains? What gets under their skin, right? What makes them take action? What makes someone to get out of bed to go and grab the credit card and make make payment for this for your service. And by creating all this information, we create the environment for AI to better understand the client avatar, and then it creates better content for us, which we can use across different channels, right? But what then happens now in practice is most business, they just go ahead and start creating content without actually identifying who they are trying to talk to, right? The realistic is generic messaging just is a lot of hot air. It fails to connect. It doesn't connect with your ideal client. And then you're doing all this effort with creating all this content, but it's not working. Is because the content itself is not hyper specific. So that's what we need to do. So it even gets to the level where you actually need to understand, right, a little bit more about your demographics on your client avatar, right? Their daily challenges, their goals, ambitions, their buying behavior, right, and their resources, right? So the more hyper specific you are in defining who your client avatar is, the better it is for you now when it comes to content creation, and the AI will help you with that, right? That's why it's important to know your market, know your niche, know your product, what it solves, and from there, that description solves it enables to give more context to the AI, and it then is able to give us much more relevant information which we use in our business. So further to that, right, there's what's called an empathy map. An empathy map is the lens that our client avatar is actually seeing the world right now. So from our end, we're seeing a person who is likely to buy our product, but from their perspective, they think in a certain way, right? They're hoping for certain things to happen, and they've got desires which we don't know, but they know, right? They're seeing competitive trends, they're seeing other things happening for other people, but not for them, and they're wondering, how can it happen for me, right? And then there's advice they're hearing, because they're not the only one who's talking to them. There's mentors, there's peers, there's music, there's everything they're hearing again, right? Then the keywords they say themselves when they talk about things that are related to what your product can help or solve for them. So these are the words they talk about, they say, or even the actions they actually do, right? This is the body of work, which is the empathy map. Because understanding the empathy map of our client avatar, it brings the rubber to the sand. It makes them connect with what we're doing, and they become able now to connect and actually understand the pain of what we're talking about. Yeah. So we've got one problem, but people are all different because we are all, some people are very analytical, some people are skeptical. These are called archetypes. These define a different type of a person based on how they behave and how they operate, right? So some of the archetypes which I've listed here, I've only got 8, but I think in total there are 12 different types of archetypes. These are the most common ones. The other 4 are the ones that are rare, but they all are used to identify and better understand your ideal client avatar, because it helps with understanding, okay, what's the target color should I use for the product. So for example, for children, that's why you find most of fast food outlets are red and yellow, because those are the colors that are quite attractive and responsive to kids. To adults, because red is repulsive to our eyes, we go for the blues and the greens because they connect with our eyes, right? So that's all around now the archetype, understanding the archetype. That then goes deeper now once you're in the archetype, because each archetype has got its personal traits, personality traits, and behaviors, which our AI tool is able to use at the same time to mold our client avatar. So what we're going to do in this step is we're going to quickly jump onto our tool and create, using this 6-step process, some of the things we'll just skip, but it'll give you an idea of how to actually create a client avatar using a Claude Code. So I'm bringing the terminal. I use it in the terminal myself. So This is Claude Code, and I'm going to log on to launch into it. So as it logs on, I will share my screen with, I'll get the two tools to share the screen so that you guys can also get a good view of what is happening here. Where are the slides? The slides are supposed to be... Which one is the slides? What did I do now? Let me escape. Let me first escape here. F11. Yes, then I can go to the left and to the right. Perfect. This is where we are. All right. So we're going to start the process to create our client our client avatar based on the things that we've been speaking already, right? Okay, cool. And in this case, our business, we sell... I'm thinking of a product that's not easy to sell, right? We sell a wood carving, right? This is a wood carving which is used to decorate inside a house. So this is a wood carving that's got a tree, and it's nicely done. It's a handcrafted thing, and it's done because within the town itself, the tree that's there has been around for more than 200 years. So people travel all over the world to come and see it. So this wood ornament is one of the things that people buy, but it's unique, it's expensive, it's not cheap, and the people buy it. So we need to create now the information surrounding this, right? So as you can see, I'm giving information to my AI tool so that it knows more information about this, right? Full stop. So our product is called wood carving tree, and this wood carving tree is created by hand, handcrafted by hand. 3 people work on it over a period of 6 months, and they create a unique piece every time. The key difference of this product is that there's nowhere else in the world you can buy this product, and it's not cheap. It is expensive, and in the past we've had people who've come to buy this product, and mostly the people who buy this product are when the couple are both of them together, right? The woman gets attracted to it, and once she's attracted to it, the husband has to buy into why the wife wants it, and then together they buy the product because it costs over $3,000 each, right? Then when they buy the product, it comes with a complimentary product. So the whole customer journey ends up to around 7,000 when they're buying the inclusions and the stands and everything else. So the tree in itself is the starting point of their value ladder, right? But the complete set is around 7K, $7,000. Full stop. Why people buy it? It's for satisfying the inner desire of having a unique piece of furniture within their house, and they want people to see that when, in fact, to show off. They secretly want to show off to their relatives and friends that they have this, which is displayed in the main living area, in a cabinet where people won't be able to touch it, right? The the ideal people to buy this product are, as I said, it's a couple who's about 40. They've got adult kids who are even now in uni. They're both working well off. It's not for the low end of the market. This is a premium product because it's there as a conversation starter to those kind of people who also understand artwork and value. And for the right client, you can actually end up closing a bigger deal given the type of activity which you're doing. If you have it in an office, it's perfect to have in an architect's office because a person who will connect to this is someone who really understands geography, because it's located in a certain area where not many people go to. They have to fly there because you have to catch 3 flights. It's expensive to get there anyway, right? When you go on holidays. Besides, shipping of this particular ornament is not cheap. So as part of the package, it includes shipping to your destination of this world. Yes. So what are they thinking about, right? When they're thinking about their everyday products, they're secretly thinking, how can they improve? This is the wife now. She's secretly thinking, how can she improve the look and feel of her house so that uh, when her in-laws come or when a relatives visit, they get to see the next level of improvement, right? That they've done because they've got all the furniture, they've done everything else, right? At the office side, it's when they are getting clients in and they're having their cocktail events, it's a conversation starter because it gets people interested, and from there they get to know more of their products and services, which leads to more sales. So it's a very hyper specific targeted product which intentionally enables conversations to happen. So as you can see, there are two kind of buyers which we've already identified, right? Uh, there is obviously a wealthy couple. Then the other one is a business consulting or services area where they deal with high net worth clients only. Those are the kind of clients who are ideal for this business. So with this information, uh, let me see what else did we not include if we haven't included anything. But these are the steps now that are very essential now as we are defining and getting to know our clients. Because if we don't do the job now, it becomes very hard for us. Let's see. I think we're doing a good job so far, right? Challenges, attempts. Let me see if I need to. So far, so good. We've gone on the gender, location. They see, yeah, I think we are somewhere there. This one is already covered. All right. So I'll go back to our avatar, right? And go ahead and create a client profile. I think I'm going to end up creating 2 client profiles for our product, right? Which is the wooden garden tree, right? That's the name of it. Go detailed as much as possible because from this information, we're going to be using it to create valuable information for our business, which we'll always be using or referencing these files to create the content for the landing pages, for the email marketing, for flyers, for any other content. We'll just be referencing this. So it has to be very detailed. If you need anything else, to ask some questions, but this should be comprehensive for us to get ahead. So the other thing I want is where to store this file. So I'm just giving it a pathway to store this file. Save this file once it's finished. Once you've finished, save this file as avatar1.html and the other one is avatar2.html. Here is the path. Yes. Oh, Control V. There we go. All right. So we give it the command. So what it's doing now is it's baking our information out. Our information has gone into the AI in Cloud Code. It's starting to bake it so that it understands our intent, what we want to do. Then from there, if need be, it will start asking or prompting us for more information, for confirmation. And once it understands exactly what it needs from us, then going to go ahead and start baking it, as I said. And this process is very, very important uh, for any business, because, like I say, doing it the other way, where we quickly just jump in and start creating content, creating everything, we are it'll come to a point where our efforts are not yielding any fruits, and we're wondering, what are we doing? We're doing all this work, we're creating all this content, but there is no evidence of the actual output from our efforts. So the moment when that starts happening, and it doesn't even take a long time for those indicators to start being visible, we start feeling them, right? Where we're not getting any sales. They will result in a lot of our products still on stock, and uh, we start to say it's cash flow problems, but what we're actually saying is we're not getting any sales. So that is what we want to avoid. So far so good. It's going through the process. I'll just put it onto the next screen whilst it's cooking, and if it needs anything else, I'll be bringing it back to here. But that's the key thing. The other things which can be added now as you're creating your client avatar is to give it customer reviews based on the work you've done already, right? Give it access to the customer reviews. You can have these on a text file or screenshots and put it in a folder, right? You can save it in a folder like this, and you start just populating your information which you want your AI tool to access and to start using. Then the frequently asked questions and objections. This normally come from your website and services, but the objections are the reasons why your client avatar, in most cases, is gives you to say they don't want to go ahead with the sale, right? So you need to have your objections so that we know how to handle the objections, right? Email inquiries, whatever is coming via email, this is very valuable information because it gives us the languaging used by our client avatars, right? Website analytics gives us the traffic. When we're having a lot of our leads and sales through the website, it gives us the idea of what we may need to optimize or areas where we need to optimize so that our content keeps on being relevant and is improved, right? Sales call notes, social media comments, and survey responses, all these become input data for our AI engine to understand what our client avatar and who is our client avatar, what they need, how they behave, etc. So all this information becomes very handy once you have it. So it's always good to be collecting this information. If it's just in audio notes, AI tools are also able to handle audio notes so that nothing is left astray and everything is put to good use. So you will find that, oh yeah, what's happening currently? We are on the process to creating our client avatar. It's gone through the process. It's understood the brief, brainstorming now. It's going ahead now and doing everything which we want, which will be good for us. Because at the end of the day, once our client avatars are defined, right, then it makes the whole process going forward of engagement, of adding information or adding value. We keep on referring to our client avatar, and then we do what we need to do. On the steps involved, right? This is just a template which I have here, but you can always add and remove depending on what your product and service is. The key thing is you just need to have a guidance of how to handle this process, because if you skip this process or you don't do this process, trust me, you're always going to be all over the show, as I have mentioned today. I know it will seem like a broken record, but that's what happens, right? So whilst we're waiting for the second avatar, the first one has already been created. As you see, avatar one. So I'm just waiting for the second one, then we open them together, right? But what our AI tool, which is Cloud in this instance, as you can see, it's still baking, it's still cooking, right? This is the way, I'm sure you heard me say to my cloud that create a detailed client avatar based on the information that I provided, right? And I did say these words, some were not entirely exactly as is, but that's how it is. So to showcase the summary, right? This is Avatar 1, and this is their profiles, right? Buying triggers, objection handling, messaging, the value ladder of the products, the pains and desires, etc. Just the same for Avatar 2. Then let's open the file so that we understand and we bring it all home together, right? So I'm going to open Avatar 1 first and Avatar 2 next. Okay, cool. So Avatar 1, so this is the information that is available for our first avatar, right? So they've given our company a name, Prestige Homemakers, right? The Wooden Garden Tree. The ages are between 40 to 52. The income is above 250K. Average transaction 7K. She is the decision maker. She leads, he approves. Location, then metro. They live in the affluent suburbs in any city where you so choose. Who they are gives you their profile, right? They travel internationally. Their spending is significant. They don't agonize over $500 decisions. They are, they're up there. Day-to-day life, mornings are structured. They go to gyms, they read news, books, they watch sport. Social circle is similar to them. They're successful, they're cultured, they're quite aware of quality, right? What does she do, right? To herself and others, she says, I want something that people notice the moment they walk in, not just because it's loud, because it's beautiful and clearly means something, right? When my sister came over last time, she kept asking about the new pieces. That I love that, right? So she wants to have that feeling with her. It's not about showing off, it's about having a home that reflects who we are. That is depth, not just style. This is what she's saying to herself in her own voice. Her pains, right? She she doesn't they've done so much to the house, but their main living area feels finished in the wrong way. She wants one centered piece that anchors it, right? Or mass-produced decors would know, so she can't explain it to guests, doesn't start conversation, so she doesn't want to buy where everyone else goes to. There are those people where they have unique things only, right? Then she's really after social currency, right? When guests arrive, she wants that moment, that pause, oh my God, what's that, right? She wants to own something that's irreplaceable. And she also wants him to get it too, to feel value, not just to accept because she said, let's get this. This is to her husband, right? Then on purchasing decision, right? She sees first, she brings it up, he evaluates rationally, she sells him on the vision, they go together, then boom. So this is the process where they go through until the purchase actually happens, right? Again, this is just showing the purchase journey. On we did say our wooden garden tree comes with mounting inclusions and then there's shipping, right? So it's around 7K. There it is. Then how to talk to her. These are the key things, right? We lead with parity. The tree that inspired this piece is over 20 years old. People travel across the world, 3 flights just to see it. This craving is the story that brought home, not just, oh yeah, we've got a beautiful thing. Nah, it doesn't. Speak to a social ambition. Not everyone else will understand it. Those who do will never forget or forget where they saw it, right? Then on objection handling, we've got listed, oh, how do I know it will look right in our home? This is a conversation piece. It's not a furniture match. It commands any space it's placed. Our clients display it as the focal point of the room. It elevates everything around that. Boom! That's a big wall that's been, extinguished. It's too expensive for a wood carving. 3 craftsmen, 6 months of work, one of a kind results. It can never be replicated. You're not buying wood, you're buying irreplaceability. Can you see that? So these things now, what they do is they determine the quality of what our landing pages and everything else that is when we're speaking to a homemaker. On the second client avatar, who is a high stakes professional, right? Their principal partner, founder of a high-end professional services firm. They're at that level, right? They're culturally aware, they read widely, travel extensively, and appreciate depth of a trend. Wow. So these are the results of what our client avatar actually does. Because when you have got examples of what this avatar looks like, you've got architectural firms, you've got wealth management, private banking, strategic consulting, luxury, real estate, executive coaching, bespoke studio designs. It makes it available to a business owner now, the different people who we are able now to connect with. This is 12 different avatars, right? So you lead with business outcome. You don't talk about, you talk about your environment speaks before you do. A piece that stops your prospects in their track and earns genuine curiosity is the most subtle sales tool in the room. By the time they know it, they already are moving to know, like, and trust you. It speaks to cultural identity. This is the professional who knows the world's most extraordinary things are for the obvious path. Then they'll stick with you. Yeah. Then there's objection handling. How do I know clients will ask about it? Every client who've placed a piece in the meeting room has reported unprompted questions within the first few sessions. It ends, it keep immediately. The story is just too unusual to go. It ends, it keep immediately. It's different. I need to think about where to put it first. Ideal placement is in a cabinet or stand in your primary meeting room and the place where your best clients sit. We include placement consultation as part of the package. We will help you get it right. Ooh, wow. So these ideas now, which have been propelled by AI, they put us to the next level of understanding our product, our service, and how we actually do so well to make it work for for us. All right. And for our client avatar, this becomes now the key thing which they were missing. All right. So one avatar propels your entire marketing system, because from the one avatar, right? From this one avatar, right? We're going to create educational content on their problems. We're going to create the content pillars, we'll create the offer and the campaigns, because we already have done the work. We know who this person is, right? We'll create the email campaigns, the sales scripts, products and services, and the automations, the follow-up automations that bring more information in front of our client avatar. So it's important for us to define who our client avatar is and for us to know our client avatar well, right? Which is a key thing in this AI world right now, where, because the whole intent of what we're doing and how we operate on a daily basis is getting away of who our client avatar is and what we serve them. By so doing, they will know, they keep on knowing and liking and trusting us for the products that we serve, and they'll keep on coming back as a buyer, as a buyer. So the 5 key questions that we keep your quotation targets are: which client problem are we addressing with this piece of content? Whatever it is, as long as we are not defining this, we are making noise, right? You soon realize that sometimes with most graphics people are doing using AI, they've got too much. They're too busy. They've got too much. It's now starting to cross, to flip through, because it's not connecting. It's too much, right? What emotion should should this message activate in the reader? Because we know our avatar, we can create the emotion that connects with them, right, within each content. What promise are we making, and can we deliver it? What specific value will the customer walk away with, and what action should we take after consuming this content? So all that we've done here, right, it's already been covered in the full avatar definition of the tool. So this guarantees us that whatever we create is going to be very, very valuable. And once we understand our client deeply, as we're doing now, right, our AI tools stop producing content randomly and starts producing strategic communication, which helps us move our needle, serve our clients, and puts our products right in front of us. Whilst you've been watching this content, go ahead and also create your own avatar, right? Create your own client avatar. Go ahead and the empathy map and the archetype. Once this foundation is in place, you will be amazed as how now your product and service is clearly defined and who your actual ideal client is, than trying to please everyone and serve everyone. And this is the secret sauce that allows you to keep on producing qualified quality content in any AI tool. It doesn't matter what tool you use. You could be using ChatGPT, you could be using Gemini, Perplexity, or Claude. It doesn't matter. The key thing is you've done the work in creating your ideal client avatar, and from there it opens the pathway for you to create more content. In the next videos, we'll be now starting to produce the content that's going to be speaking to a client avatar, because we've done the work. So until we meet again on the next video, have a good day and enjoy creating your client avatar.